All right, guys, this is the second video for 7.11C. This is the concept development. Remember that the first half of it is always going to be notes. It gives you information about what an adjacent angle is. Two angles are adjacent if they share a common ray, so that would be a side. Like for instance, AEB, angle AEB shares the same side right here as, let me find a different color marker, BEC. So this is angle BEC. Those are adjacent because they share this same side B. Okay, we talked about the triangle sum theorem on the first page that we did. Remember that the interior angles of a triangle are all going to add up to be 180 degrees. This standard 711C is using that information to determine an equation. So we know that that's a right angle, so that's going to be 90 degrees. We know that this angle is 26 degrees, and then we know that this angle is 3x plus 7. So we make an equation where we combine our like terms. So 90 and 26 and 7 are going to give us 123. And then we have our 3x is equal to 180. And then we would just solve this like we would a regular two-step equation. So the first thing that we're going to do is subtract 123 from both sides. And that would give us 3x is equal to 57. And then we would divide each side by 3. So x is going to be equal to 19. Okay, so we would plug 19 back in to this equation in order to find the angle, but since this one was just asking us to solve for x, we can leave it as x equals 19, but there are going to be occasions where you need to plug it back in order to determine the angle measure, okay? For vertical angles, they are formed when two lines intersect, okay? So the angles are formed opposite each other. So for this one, A and C would be vertical angles, and D and B would be vertical angles, okay? Angles that are opposite of each other. For a linear angle pair, we discussed this on the last page as well. Two angles form a linear angle pair when they are adjacent, so next to each other, okay? And have a sum of 180 degrees. Angle ADB and BDC are angle pairs because they are adjacent and their measures are a sum of 180 degrees. All right, so we're going to use this information up here to solve our triads down at the bottom. So for number 1, look at the sketch of the triangle. So we have 9x, okay, that's all the information they gave us. And then the sum of the angles P and Q is 56. So both of those angles, when we add them together, is going to be 126 degrees. So first we need to determine an equation. Oh, Miss Brown pencil just spit out all of her lead. Give me 1 second. All right, here we go. So first we need to come up with an equation to determine the value of x. So one equation that we might have is 126 plus 9x is equal to 180 degrees. Well, Mrs. Brown, where did you get that information? Well, my problem told me that P and Q, that both of these are going to be 126 degrees. And then I know that this angle is, the measure right now that they're giving me is 9x. And I know, according to my triangle sum theorem up here, that all of these angles are going to total 180 degrees. So that's where my 180 degrees comes from. So it says, what is the measure of angle R? So let's solve for x so that we can determine the measure of angle R. I'm going to move it up here just to give myself a little bit more, this isn't 90, this is 9x. Excuse me, to give myself a little bit more room. So first I'm going to subtract 126 from both sides, okay? And that's going to give me 9x is equal to 180 minus 26 is going to be 54, okay? And then I'm going to divide both sides by 9. So x is going to be equal to 6, okay? So what I do in order to find the measurement of angle R is to plug that in. 9 times 6 is equal to 54. So the measure of angle R is 54 degrees, okay? we represent angles with that little representation of an angle. So this is angle R is equal to 54 degrees. Okay? And we would even say the measure of angle R is equal to 54 degrees. All right, for number 2, a pair of intersecting lines is shown. Draw write one equation that can be used to determine the value of x using vertical angles, and then write one equation that can be used to determine x of the vertical using linear angle pairs. All right, so vertical angles, remember, are ones that are adjacent to one another. So this one would be 5x and 101 degrees. So if we were going to turn that into an equation, it would be 5x minus 34 is equal to 101 degrees. Okay, for the next one where we're using a linear angle pair, we might want to use 1/3 of x, okay, plus our 70 is equal, plus 101, because I know that this entire side right here is going to be 180 degrees because they're adjacent, is equal to 180 degrees. Okay, and then I could add up my like pairs, so that would be 103 x plus 171 is equal to 180 degrees, and I could solve from there. Okay? All right, guys, go ahead and put this into your notebook, and you will add on your divider 7.11c. Think up pages 308 and 310, and we will look over these in class to make sure that you have them. Thank you.